Hi, my name is Erin Stewart, and in today's AI UX Teardown, we're going to look at Beautiful.AI. So before we jump into that tool, I wanted to start with a simple prompt in ChatGPT where we asked, what are the top AI tools for creating presentations? In an earlier video, which I'll include a link to in the description of this one, we did a teardown of Gamma. And Beautiful.AI is one that was actually what originally sparked this idea of doing a few presentation slide teardowns for AI tools, because I started getting advertised by them on LinkedIn, hadn't heard of them, and it kind of reminded me like, oh, there's this like whole market of AI generated presentation, like, or PowerPoint slides or whatever. And my current experience is that I mostly use Canva if I'm like speaking at a conference or running a workshop. And I am not a fan of their Magic Studio. I don't think that's a very good AI feature yet. But similar to what I found with Gamma was like, it's cool what they can create, but really I'd rather start with blank slides and throw my branding in, pick from a few themes, pull stuff I like selectively from that kind of thing. Whereas like there's a lot of creative license taken by these tools in terms of like layouts that aren't great, or like Gamma, for example, wants me to spend credits every time I want to change the layout of a slide. And to me, that's like table stakes that I should be able to do that and not have to like constantly be paying to change something that they made ugly, if that makes sense. So I don't know, definitely some strong opinions about it, but let's jump into Beautiful.AI. I've never looked at this tool before. I've seen it in ads, but I'm curious how it compares to Gamma. Just a quick refresher. So I'm logged in here, but Gamma basically put out a slide deck that looked like this. So we're going to run through the same thing with Beautiful.AI. So here, their design for their marketing site is very different than Gamma. I would say for branding for presentation software, I like what Gamma did better. It kind of feels a little bit of a nod to like what you would expect from Canva, for example. So I think that's good. Like this slide doesn't like make me jazzed at the results. This sort of like layout, I don't know, like I get what they're trying to do here in terms of like teasing the interaction, but this layout could be a lot better on their marketing site. Kind of not seeing social proof testimonials. I'm really looking for that like credibility, like name brands use this. Here's like one customer story, but it'd be easy to miss this as a testimonial because it doesn't have like the quote, the name, the role, the company. And then like this is so buried. This should be at the top for sure. This should be higher up, that kind of thing. But I think these little like word ones don't do as much as they used to. So I think like videos or things that are have high quality photography at least make a big difference there. Where you like believe that person really said that or whatever it is, right? See how good your idea looks. Yeah, these all look okay. They kind of look very like Google Slides-esque, which is fine, but like maybe doesn't compete with Canva, if that makes sense. Let's look briefly at pricing. So Gamma had an always free tier and then $8 a month for the second tier, maybe $18. So immediately I noticed that this is more expensive. It looks like I have a free trial, but I think Gamma probably being the front runner and undercutting their price makes me curious what their market share actually is and if this will maybe change as well. So I'd expect that they probably need to offer a free tier and maybe price themselves just under Gamma, but maybe their functionality is better, so we'll see. We're going to log in. It's fine. Okay, so this is kind of like the previous era of onboarding flows. We still do a lot like this. My rule of thumb for these kinds of questions are do not ask me these questions unless they really are going to personalize my experience or help me through like an educational journey about the product. These are low friction, but like it's annoying when it's like, well, I mean, like I'm kind of using them for these, but it's really other, but okay, now it's like, what else, do I go back? Can I go back? Yeah. Okay. So let's pretend we're doing, I don't know, marketing, and then say we're a founder, say we have a small team, And I'm going to use, that is actually my use case. So conferences and events, workshops, things like that are mostly the only things we use decks for. Sometimes for client work, we'll do like a few slides that summarize things like user research findings. But a lot of times where those things are living, like there's other places that they happen. So we don't do like 20-page slide decks or things like that often for client work. Okay, so they hit me with a free trial, but they want my card. And I think in the era of like AI tools, there's like high curiosity. A lot of people want to like dabble and try things, compare different tools. People that are in the product and UX space or engineering space are honestly just curious to even understand like what are the standards, what are the best practices, who's doing what well and not well, and can I like reverse engineer it to understand it better. But a key thing I would call it is like requiring a card for a free trial for an AI tool. Like this would immediately have dropped me off of considering AI or Beautiful.AI, and I would have focused on Gamma and maybe some of the other ones on this list that I have here, because the list of competitors is just going to keep growing. Okay, so I edited out the part where I finished filling out the payment form. It's giving me a 14-day free trial. But it wanted me to say on basically 2 weeks from now, they're going to charge me for a year of it, which is not great. I'd be super annoyed if I forgot to sign out. I also feel like it just like false started me and loaded a new homepage. So, okay, this is funny because like this does look a lot better. But you obviously saw in the video that it looked not as good before. There's a little too much motion for my taste, but it does look more modern. They upgraded. This is exactly what I was talking about. So customer spotlight's a lot better, some storytelling, 14 days free, try it free. Again, they're really going to need to do the no credit card. Okay, this looks a little better. They're probably maybe still working on it. I don't know. Still think they need to adjust like the always free tier thinking and just being conscious that, and I also, I hate that it's billed annually. I think that loses a lot of people because how would I know? It's not a lot of money, but it is if I'm, getting into multi-seat. It also looks like anything that's like team functionality. Suddenly I'm paying $40 per person. And like, that's a lot really quickly. Where like the idea that I would end up maybe spending almost as much on Beautiful.AI as I pay for like Figma for all of our team and like even some of our clients to have seats on it, like that's probably a no for me. Let me see if I can go back. Okay, so it legitimately kicked me out. That's kind of awkward, but I actually think it's really cool to have that in this video, so we're gonna leave it. I'm gonna hit get started, so we'll go through what I think might be their new flow. Okay, and then same thing here is I thought I had already done this, so we're gonna do it again. And I hate, annual, they're giving me a monthly option, but it's way more expensive. And I don't even see an option to do the free trial, maybe because I already went through it. So I think this worked this time. Really drop in confidence, like whatever I hit where like they're getting ready to roll out a new version of the marketing site, not surprising based on the first version we saw, but I think I've attempted to pay for it twice, both of which I want to cancel, but now I've got that like messy thing where I have to go like clean that up and cancel stuff so I don't get charged. Not a fan of the annual plans. $12 a month is fine. But they showed in one version of their checkout flow, I saw like I have a monthly option, but it's $45 a month. That's really different. I also see it's like anything that's probably team collaboration paying like $40 a seat per month. And that just adds up really quickly for a team to collaborate. Unless it's really, really good. Like it would really have to save me a lot of time. Then the cost is a no-brainer. But like, again, you have to go back to that product strategy piece of what pain point am I solving for somebody? And am I actually having a significant enough impact where the cost is a no-brainer for them, that they'd bring everybody in? Because if you think about the workflow for somebody who has purchasing power for a team like myself, I'm going to try something for myself first, and it may make the cut of being part of my workflow. But then the question is, well, is this good and important enough tool for my team to all need access to it? And, at any given point, we have multiple subscriptions or licenses for things, but it's like you're kind of always navigating like, oh, is this redundant? So for example, anything that's an AI tool for presentation creating, like, is it redundant with Canva, Figma, etc., that we already pay for? Here I see some sample presentations, but I'm not like totally sure. Okay, this is like kind of easy to miss. I don't love the treatment of this create presentation. Blank, generate with AI. I mean, obviously we want to do it with AI. Here it's asking me to describe the topic. I'm just gonna like paste in my outline. We'll see. Create 5 slides for the following content. Please keep the content exactly as is. I would like a minimalist, black and white, modern aesthetic with AI images on each slide. Okay, so, and I don't know, I was trying to type something, I guess I hit enter, I don't know. Okay, so this one is interesting. It's not bad looking, honestly. I think I skipped over where I could like choose themes. It had one default, but it wasn't really clear if there was ones to choose from or browse. Things that stand out as weird to me. So, okay, now I've got a tutorial, but that's fine. I just want out. Might want to look at that later, but okay, available, so it tells me that. A lot of stuff going on. This would be fine. I'd obviously put a different image in it, but I don't mind that. Oh man, their little like interaction. I'm struggling a little bit with, they've got some kind of thing that I think they think is slick, but I'm struggling to, because it's not like sliding the way I would expect or swiping the way I would expect. Okay. Do love that they have this like layout adjustment. I shouldn't have to pay credits for that like we saw in Gamma. Here's my next one. This is super weird. Like that is obviously not me. It's weird that they even did that, but it's also weird that it wrote like semi-real but made up content. Like that's not my bio or what I would write there, but like where did it get it from or why? And like yeah, like I really struggle with the liberties that these tools take. And then you have things like, well, it took liberties there, but like this layout is problematic. And also like, I mean, this also embellished a bunch of stuff. So like the bullet points were probably like this top part, not here. So it's like, how do I give feedback to that? And then this is okay. It's kind of ugly. The font's not great, but it's not broken. But it is, again, taking liberties where like this is not the content I pasted in. And then this is interesting because there were supposed to be 4 bullet points in a discussion question. It like kind of missed the mark on that completely. And then it's throwing in like random slides that like aren't a bad idea to have, but they're not what I asked for. So this again like leaves me feeling like I could learn to work with the tool, but the amount of effort and change I would need to make. So let's see if we can do things like layout. I'm just curious what, yeah, ideas. So it would take a second to get used to this, but like none of these are great. And then same thing here, I'm like really looking for, okay, so I have a full theme editor, but I really at some point as I got started wanted somebody to just ask me like, what's your logo? What are your colors? What's your font? Because that would save me a lot of time. So yeah, Beautiful.AI, honestly, I felt like okay, so just to like summarize what we saw with Beautiful.AI. So this was one that had been advertised to me. It shows up in our list when we prompted ChatGPT about what are the best AI tools for presentation creation. We walked through Gamma in another video, which I'll drop in the description. But generally speaking, so Beautiful.AI, it looks like they're maybe going through a transition of like launching a new marketing site, which is exciting. The first one we saw that's currently, I think, live, looks a little dated or rough, especially compared to Gamma, if that's who they're competing with. The new one that we got a sneak peek of looks better. So that's exciting. They even made some of the edits that I had mentioned I would expect to see these days in terms of just being AI first and staying competitive in that space. And then interaction to input my information was a little weird. So in some ways I have more respect for Gamma's onboarding flow, or the way you step into creating a presentation. It was still a little different than how I think of interacting with like LLMs, for example. But this one felt like it wasn't even giving me a chance to give it the inputs that I wanted. And then what it gave me back was just like missing the mark. I do like that it seems like there's more features where I can like quickly change the layout. I'm not paying like constant credits for that. That felt really weird in Gamma to me. Maybe the volume of credits make it somewhat of a non-issue. I do understand the credits map to some operational costs for them. But I think users are going to already kind of like prefer to just know what they're paying for if possible. And if there are like usage thresholds where you can upgrade or like add extra credits, I feel like that should kind of fall to the background in terms of the customer experience. I really don't need to be thinking about what do credits mean and this and that when I've just logged into a free trial. I really just want to see if I can get value out of the product, and then I'll go from there in terms of if it's worth the cost and if I understand the pricing. Thanks for joining me for this AI UX teardown of Beautiful.AI. If you want to check out the video of a similar teardown of Gamma, which I liked better, I'll drop that in the description. If you have an AI tool you would like to see a similar teardown video of, drop me a comment below. Also, if you would like to learn more about using AI for product discovery workflows, I'm hosting a free Maven Lightning lesson on September 15th at 12 p.m. Eastern. To dive into that further, I'll drop a link for more information on that as well in the description. Thanks.